Over the past few years, we've done some crazy work to the Toyota Chaser. We've put a big turbo on it.
Whoa, dude, what the hell?
It's running on ethanol and it makes about 340 kilowatts to the wheels, but it's sort of been put on the back burner of projects because of all the other stuff going on, like the Skyline, of course, which you guys are seeming to enjoy a lot. Now that the Skyline's off for paint, we can finally start focusing a little bit more attention on the Chaser. I haven't really been driving it as much as I should, so let's go for a drive. We kind of got to start today's video off with an iced coffee because it's pretty early and it's warm as hell. Got myself an iced coffee from 7-Eleven, baby. I feel like I haven't done one of these like talk to camera videos in a long time, so let's just get straight to the point. I don't think I'm ever gonna have a car that sounds better than this, unless it's like a Lamborghini or like a V10 BMW or something like that. I don't know, man. The biggest problem with this car is that it makes too much power. Now, you might think, oh, 340 kilowatts, that's not too much. I mean, firstly, it is, but I just don't have the control over this car because of the stopping power. This doesn't have any hectic brake pads or anything like that. It's got stock standard brakes with like brake pads probably from some old Japanese mechanic shop. I don't know, but as well as that, my brake master is on its way out because I was driving in the hills one time and then all of a sudden I like lost all brake pedal feel, like literally no brake pedal, and like it still is like that. Like it only really activates halfway through the pedal press, and that's really, really bad. Obviously we need to rectify that, and today that's what we're gonna do, guys. But first, we're gonna enjoy the Chaser a little bit. So we are at home now, and I haven't got the Chaser inside the garage, and that's because we need to prep it before we install our new parts. Like I said, we need some new brakes, and look, the standard brakes, they're pretty decent. They're pretty big, you know? But what we're upgrading them with is gonna put these to shame. So guys, these are our new parts for the Toyota Chaser. We got some Supra Turbo 4-pot calipers. These are the real deal. These are genuine. They came brand new from Toyota. And funnily enough, the previous owner had them installed on a Toyota Chaser. So I bought them brand new from Toyota and installed them on the Chaser. And in order to install these big brakes, you do need offset nuts. So he's of course already gone ahead and done that. You can see these nuts are offset. They're not actually in the middle of the hole right there on both sides. Now we also have of course our rotors. These unfortunately have seen a lot of use, and I got them machined by a mate at ABS. Massive shout out to Jet. He's actually a subscriber of mine that I met randomly when I was going to my local auto parts store. Mr. Jet. Hello. And Ethan. Nice t-shirt, bro. That looks cool. Whoa! I was picking up some parts and these boys came up to me. Jet basically told me that he works at a machine shop, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I need some stuff machined, and he offered me to do rotors in the future or whatever. So cheers, bro.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's go.
He did a really good job, but he measured the spec, and these have seen like a lot of use, a lot of track time and everything, and they're actually only just in specs. So we do actually need to replace these eventually, but for now we're just gonna run them so we can install the Supra brakes and, you know, have a little bit of stopping power. The pads that are currently in the Supra Turbo brakes have seen a lot of track use, just like the rotors. So of course, we got ourselves some brand new pads. I got these from Sleeker Spares, sport/street pads. I've never used them before, but we're gonna trial them out today. They were pretty cheap, so that's why I bought them. And they're a JDM brand. Everything JDM, right? Now we can't put the brakes in looking like this, so the plan was to paint them. So I began by removing the pads, which was very easy. All you need to do is remove the clip holding the guide pins in place. I then removed the guide pins, which required a little bit of finesse. After that, the brake pads just popped out, and you can see how much the brake pads have been worn down, and I'll get to the comparison of the new pads once we start installing everything. Next, it was time to clean the calipers, and here I used a combination of degreaser and brake cleaner, as that's what I had lying around in the garage, and it was super satisfying seeing all the brake dust come off, although this was pretty tedious in 30-degree heat. After that, I then started sanding down the calipers. I used this sanding kit that I got from Bunnings, and I started by hand sanding everything, but it was taking way too long, so I brought out the machine sander and then went ham. After a lot of sanding, we finally have one of the calipers looking like this. I don't know which one's left or right yet, so we're just gonna have to wait till we get it on the car, but I decided to really sand down this side because I'm gonna make a sticker and I want it to properly adhere to the caliper. As from factory, there's a lot of cast marking, so there's a lot of like dimples in the metal right here, so I started off with 60 grit and then just worked my way up to about 240 grit. Now, yes, you heard that right. We're gonna be putting some stickers on these calipers. I've decided I want to represent these Supra brakes, so I'm gonna print out some standard Supra stickers on my sticker printer, and I'm gonna show you how I do that. But before we do that, of course, we need to measure how big the standard Supra sticker is. So I haven't sanded this one down yet, so we're gonna measure it up, and we'll go print some stickers and then sand this caliper down. Before we print the stickers, we needed to sand the other caliper. So I got to work and sanded down the caliper with all grits of sandpaper that I had, and we got the caliper looking nice and smooth. I then cleaned everything down with motor spray prep wash, which you can find at your local Autobahn store, and I then painted the calipers with primer and then paint. Alright guys, we are now up in my room because we are going to be printing the stickers for the Supra calipers, and I found this vinyl that I want to use. I don't know if it's going to be heat proof or not, but we're going to give it a go. This is a really highly metallic vinyl that's like basically got the same reflection as the wheels that I'm running, the SSR SP1s. So I'm going to take you through how I make stickers. So we're going to look up Supra 90 logo, and as you can see, there are a bunch of different logos right here. I'm going to save that, and the rest I'm going to do in Photoshop, so I'm just going to record my screen. The Supra logo that we found didn't have the line that goes at the bottom, so I added in a line while looking at a photo of a stock standard Supra brake for reference, and then I added it to my sticker software and printed the stickers. Guys, check this out. So we have our Supra stickers ready to start cutting. So they came out actually way better than I thought they would, but there you guys go. Have a look right there. I'm gonna cut these out, and this is basically how I do the orders at benkispec.com for all the stickers on the website. After cutting out the stickers, I then went down to the garage, removed the calipers from where they were hanging, and then carefully placed the stickers onto the calipers. Guys, holy moly. Look at how sick that looks. It was pretty difficult to get them centered, but I think I did a good job. And then after that, I put 3 layers of clear coat over the sticker and onto the caliper, making sure to focus mainly on the front side of the caliper, which of course you will see the most. Alright, it's been a few hours, and obviously we can't just throw the brakes on the car after we paint them, otherwise we'll just ruin the paint. And guys, this is what the calipers now look like. Have a sus, man. They look awesome. That's with the clear coat on. Everything's sort of dry to the touch, but obviously it's only been a few hours, so we really need to let these sit for a day. But we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna jack the car up and start sussing out installing these brakes. I am over the moon excited. It's gonna look so cool. And of course, we're doing this mainly for the upgrade because our calipers are kind of screwed. All right, we have the car jacked up in the air now, and it's now time to remove the standard brakes. It should be very simple. All we need to do is just remove the 2 bolts holding the caliper onto the back of this hub right here, and then we'll be able to remove the brake line and then the rotor, and then pretty much just replace it with the Supra brakes. The Supra calipers are huge. Here's a comparison of the old versus new. I started by removing the 2 17mm bolts on the back of the caliper, which was very easy with the breaker bar, and after removing that I was able to move the caliper off the hub assembly and then remove the rotor. I then cleaned the hub with a wire brush, making sure to remove as much rust as possible, and then applied anti-seize lubricant so the new rotors wouldn't stick to the hub. I then had to cut the brake shield to make clearance for the big brakes. You have to cut them here and here, and then I also bent the shield back to make more room for the rotors. After that, it was as simple as installing the new rotors, so I did everything in reverse order. I installed the Supra brakes, and I installed the pads. I also made sure to clean all the parts such as the guide pins and pin clips, as putting dirty parts on freshly painted calipers feels criminal. Okay guys, we finally have the Supra brakes installed. I've been slaving away. It is currently 30 degrees outside, but have a sus of that. They are fully installed now. Talk to spec. Brake pads in.
They're huge, man. Nah, they're pretty big. Comparing to the R33 ones I got, they're massive.
Oh yeah, look at that. They don't look big on camera, but guys, trust me, they are enormous. We're going to quickly replace the master cylinder right here because this one is kind of cooked. I've got a brand new OEM Protex brake master cylinder, so we'll need to bench bleed this before we install it. Enjoy the time lapse. I had to change the master cylinder over as the brake pedal would go to the floor even after being bled. And luckily there was enough room to get to everything with the strut brace still in. I then bench bled the new master, which is very necessary as you can't fully compress the master with the brake pedal, and this ensures that you will have no air in the system. Okay guys, after about an hour of bleeding, we finally have the brakes feeling somewhat okay with the brand new master we just put in. Have a look at that, looking nice and brand new. This is the brake fluid that we're using, Castrol Performance .4. We need to get the car on the ground, move it out, and then clean the garage because it looks like a bomb went off. And put the wheels back on. Woo! Chuck the ramps out. Oh yeah, well, yeah, it feels good.
Sounds tough.
It does sound tough. I love this car, man. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Nice.
Why are you throwing it on?
Because I forgot to tighten it down, buddy.
Nice.
Alright, so the pedal still feels like crap for some reason, even though we spent like an hour bleeding it. So there's probably still a little bit of air in the system, or we need to bleed it from the ABS. I'm not too sure, but other than that, like, it still stops like halfway down the pedal though. But yeah, we're gonna break the pads in and then properly test it out. So let's go. Alright guys, before we take this thing for a spin, I need to show you one con of running this setup. So of course, the brakes are totally fine. They feel great. You're gonna see that soon. But the only issue that I'm facing right now is that these pads are leaving so much dust on my chrome wheels. I really never understood why people would complain about their pads, you know, leaving so much dust. I didn't think it would like really make that much of a difference, but with chrome wheels, you can really see just like how dirty it's left my wheels. Other than that, the brakes look absolutely sick. You can't really see them unless the spoke is in the right spot. So I'm gonna actually roll the car forward for you guys. Yeah, you still can't really see it, but it looks like the sticker is lasting, which is sick. That was like my biggest concern, that the sticker wouldn't actually last for a while, but yeah, look pretty good. They haven't actually come off yet. Time will tell whether or not these stickers are gonna start disintegrating or something, but for now, they're pretty good. Holy crap, it feels good to be back in this thing, guys. This thing is insanely fast. And if it gripped up, holy moly. Anyway, it was actually yesterday that we bled the brakes and we bedded the brakes in. I didn't do that on camera because it's a boring procedure. You just got to do like a number of stops between like 80 to 10 and then 100 to 10. So I've had a little bit of a time to enjoy the brakes, and guys, they're unbelievable. Like, you're obviously not going to be able to feel that there on camera, but they stop like crazy. However, like, the only limiting factor now are the tires that were running up front. Obviously we've got like 6 degrees negative camber. We're also running like just a typical street tire, which is an RE003, a Bridgestone RE003. Not really the best tire, but it does the job, I guess. But I do want to go semi-slicks and dial out some of the camber so we do have better braking performance. And surprisingly, everything works. ABS still works fine, not an issue at all. I've really laid into the brakes, and yeah, everything seems absolutely fine, like standard, like OEM. But yeah, this is awesome, guys. Like, we finally have the matching brakes for the power of this car, and it's given me like way more confidence. Like, I have so much control over the thing. If I need to stop, I can stop. I don't need to worry about pressing the pedal like all the way to the floor to get the car to stop, which was something I was actually having to deal with the old master cylinder. But super stoked, guys, with how the brakes turned out on this thing. I really wish I could show you what it was like stopping in this car. Should have done a comparison between before and after. I'm pleased to say now, guys, that I've fixed the biggest problem with my car at this current point in time. There's still a few issues that I need to iron out. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't talked about on camera with this thing. Over time, we'll get it perfect. These cars take a lot of time and money to build, and I do want to get it right. That's why I'm taking my time. And of course, we've also got a bunch of other cars that we're building, but yeah, this is my love, my pride and joy. So I do need to start getting more work done to this thing. But thank you guys so much for tuning in today's video. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Catch ya.